Alright, so this year I decided I'm taking this content thing seriously. I realized the only way of doing it is just by doing it, releasing content consistently, and things will work out. I don't really need to care what anyone thinks. So basically, put out the content that I want, the way that I want, the content that I want to put out, keep doing it, and eventually it'll work out. Trust the process. I believe there's a big correlation between trusting the process and not caring what people think. Let me explain. So trusting the process, patience. Patience involves knowing things are going to take time. Discipline is kind of doing the same thing or doing something every single day, even when you don't want to do it, but because you know, yeah, there's something at the end that you want to achieve for the better of yourself, achievement or wherever it is the discipline is going to keep you going on that journey. It's like, whether it's gym, content creation, going to work, so you have to get up, get it done, and if you don't want to, you're going to feel better after doing it because you know you've done it. Let's say 365 days in the year, which there is, 365 days of that year, you want to go for a run in the morning. You do it every single day. That's that discipline. You tick it off every single day. By the end of the year, you've done 365 days. Or even if you've done 360 days, it's better than you doing 200 because you decided a few days you don't want to do it. You did it those days, you didn't want to do it, now you do it and it's all good. I hope that makes sense. So not caring about what people think is a huge factor in this, and it really helps you stay consistent. The bigger thing I'm trying to say, the bigger picture here is, I know the majority of people, if not everyone, has something that they want to start or they want to do. But what's holding them back is probably themselves, their mind. And not a lot of the time, it's caring about what other people think. So I've got a perfect example of this. I'm going to use myself as an example. So let's talk about the content creation side of things first. YouTube. I started my channel back in 2021, literally like 2 years ago to the week today. And I remember when I started, I was like, cool, consistency is key. I was in my head, I'm going to do 100 days of YouTube or something along them lines. I'd started dishing out content, thinking, yeah, it's all cool. And then I stopped. And at the time, I was like, I don't care. Which is basically what the video is about, but in the wrong way. I didn't care and stopped. I had work to do, trying to get on with my work. Then I realized and started thinking about maybe people thinking I'm a quitter or something like that. So I went back to it. I had to prove myself or everyone else that I can do this. So I think that's the second time I was like, I'm going to do 100 days of YouTube to prove to myself that I can do it. I think I lasted about 16 or 17 days. I don't even know. If you can check my YouTube, I did it for a good amount of time, but nowhere near 100 days. And to be fair, man, without me putting it out there, my mental health just got involved, and I thought it was better I just lay off the YouTube thing. However, I felt like I didn't really help myself, but that's another conversation. I didn't really help myself because of what I'm about to explain, because I decided to not care and focus on other things, which kind of led me on a longer path of not doing what I'm meant to be doing, which is actually what got me out of my situation of like mental health and like just not doing the right thing, focusing on what I'm meant to do, which is what I learned eventually, that if I would have just stuck to the process, trust the process, I would have felt a million times better. Overall, I basically like stopping YouTube 2 times, even though when I said I was going to do it consistently, a lot of the times I stopped because I basically didn't care. I was like, I need to do this, got work to do, or I need to focus on my mental health. I don't care. Like, there's a lot of I don't care involved, but that wasn't the I don't care about what people think that I'm trying to talk about. It's how I'm going to flip it, is how I decided today that I'm, in January, that I'm going to do this YouTube thing fully consistent, and how I stop caring what people think. I realized there was a problem here, that how I'm going to stop something and not necessarily give up, but like, I guess you can call it that quitting for a bit. I just stopped caring. I pretended I didn't care what people think, but then what brought me back to it the second time was I care what people think. But I thought of it in a bad way. I wasn't really doing it for myself. So after months, towards the end of that year, I was really sitting there thinking to myself, what do I actually want to do? Like, I do designing, it's cool, everything's fine, but I know there's something else that I'm missing. So obviously, for years and years, I wanted to do a clothing line, and that's part of my plan. But the first step towards this journey of this year was, I'm going to take YouTube seriously. Like, I really thought about it, and I wanted to do it back in 2021. I was so keen to do it, and I was like, 2021, during that pause time of the year for 2 years, I was like, I had to be a YouTuber, I'm gonna kill it, I'm gonna do all these things. I never did. And it was still at the back of my mind. And it wasn't for nobody else. It was like, I just want to do it. And I obviously want people to view my videos to help them. If I want, it's like I really want someone to learn my videos, watch it, and be excited. But I also don't mind if they are my videos. I just want to dish out videos and just valuable content. So let me take you to the steps of how I became a YouTuber. I don't think myself a YouTuber because I am. I don't care. The first step was getting a camera to get good quality videos. I knew at that current point, I was like, I don't really want to go and spend on the camera. To be fair, I can't even afford it. How do I solve this issue? Well, one of my good mates, he's got a good camera that I'm using right now. So, humility aside, one of my other friends was like, just ask someone for a camera. So I did. I just messaged him and said, bro, do you think I could use your camera on the weekends or something along them lines? Yeah, of course. It doesn't hurt to ask. Put your pride aside and do it. So I collected the camera. He let me use it. He's like, every weekend you can have the camera. And I was like, cool. That means the weekend I get to take advantage of recording. And obviously, if I can help him with designs or anything in any way, then by all means, but I'm grateful. And I've got that problem solved. So I have good quality videos now. The next step is, what type of content am I going to create? So what have I learned? What kind of tips do I want to share? Do I have any stories, any experience, logos that I want to show, my process, that whole stuff. But what if nobody wants to see it? What if nobody cares? Someone will. You start to realize as life goes on that people are more like than you really think. Like, I can go out and some of them told me that they've watched my videos. I didn't even think you, of all people, would watch it. But I'm grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. But you just never expect it. That just makes my day. Just know one person that I didn't even expect to watch my videos is telling me, I've been watching your content, or it's sick what you're doing. And even if the numbers don't add up, which I'll get onto in the next step, but first, just create content. Like, my thing is I want to create valuable content. I know someone's going to want to watch it, even if I spend a bit of time just editing a video for a bit longer and trying my best to make it a specific way to match how someone will watch it. Like at my previous video, previous few videos I've released, I've put my mind as the viewer and say, how would they probably want to hear this? The person I want to hear this video, the person that I want to watch this video, how would I want them to listen to it? And I'd space it off of that. And I don't care what people think. Because if someone else has an opinion, I'm like, maybe that video wasn't for you. I would love everyone to watch it. But when I'm making this video, I just have the specific viewer in mind that I want to watch this video for. And that's what I'm thinking about at that point. I don't care about what anyone else thinks. I don't even care what that person thinks, because overall, I want everyone to watch it. That's the goal, obviously. To have loads of views. Not for vanity or anything, just because I want to share valuable content with the world. Stay persistent. So the main thing I struggled with a lot, especially in the beginning, and even like towards the end of last year, I was like, if I'm going to do this YouTube thing, I've got, like, I think at the time I had like 80, 90 subscribers, and only like the max got one video, it's just got like a few thousand views, but the rest of them only have 50 to 100 views, like the majority of my videos. Oh, nobody watches my videos, no one wants to really subscribe. What happens if people ain't support me and I want to support me? Bro, nobody cares. Like, one thing I've learned in life is if you do something good and you do it consistent, it's going to work. It's a little story time. I started designing between the ages of like 13, 14, 15, about 13 years ago. And even at that time, I was young and I was really like worried about, when I want to do this, I want to be a designer. How do I see myself in 10 years? What happens if no one sees my vision? But that young me was just like, I'm just going to do it anyways. And I did. And, now we look today, when people ask me what you do, I'm proud to say that I'm a designer. I'm still doing this designing thing. However I want to say it, the thing that I stuck to when I was younger is now the thing that pays me. And I'm very grateful and I'm very happy. I'm very proud of myself for sticking to it. So that's my little reminder of staying persistent and knowing that it will work if you just make it work. So it's like nowadays, as much as I say I'm a designer, more recently, if people say that, what are you up to, what are you doing? I'm doing this YouTube thing, man. I'm a YouTuber now. Like, it's obviously hard for me to get used to it, but I am getting used to it. I just stopped caring what people think. Like, I'm a YouTuber now. I'm also a designer now. I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, I'm not getting paid for it, but eventually that's the plan. But back on like how I started designing, for example, I'm just treating it like that. I'm treating it like a fresh business. It's gonna work. Preparation plus action equals luck. And when this thing works for me, that's that luck factor. But I know I'll be prepared. I've been consistently recording videos, taking action on it. I've done my job, and I'm gonna keep doing it. By the way, you can check my previous video where I expanded on that. There's a whole story behind it based on The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a book that helped me. And also another book like The Power of Now. I started doing audiobooks and trying to like increase my knowledge. Audiobooks, I don't really read too tough. I used to have a few books in my previous videos. I don't really read them. It was an aesthetics thing. I cared about what people thought and all that stuff. I don't read them, but audiobooks I love, podcasts I love. I take my knowledge and, I'm growing to learn things. The reason it's going to make sense is because the only thing that's really stopping you from starting that business, doing YouTube, whatever the hell it is that you want to do, to the better of yourself, that dream, whatever you want to call it, the only thing that's really stopping you is you, because we can make a million excuses, and the video point is about caring what people think. And a lot of the time, that's what it normally comes down to. Because even if you're thinking, oh, I can't afford something, well, why don't you ask someone that can maybe help you with that thing that you can't afford? Don't care about what people think. I solved that problem, and I explained it earlier. If you're thinking of what kind of content you can do, stop caring about what's popping or this and that. You can do it if you want, but if you don't want to, if you're trying not to think, or that you have a specific genre that you want to do, where it's like, oh, I want to talk about anime because I have anime videos. I don't, but if you did, and you want to make videos about it, and you think there's potential as a niche, just do it. You obviously watch it, and you know the best about it, so just talk about it. Someone's going to watch it. At the end of the day, it's all down to you and how you take action on what you need to do, literally all me and everything's in my mind to escape them outside thoughts of, what does this person think? Is this person in a judgment? Does this person think I'm a loser? Who gives a fuck? So the battery stopped working, so I had to charge it and come back again, so it looks a bit different. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So as I was saying, another thing to not care, to stop caring about what people think. I think a big thing that is linked to this is thinking about your past and worrying about the future. So even another audiobook that I have listened to, or consider read, is The Power of Now. Why this relates to stop caring about what people think, because you could be worrying about the past, maybe if people have said this or that to you about what you do, or you're worrying about what they're going to say about you. So if you just stick to what you're doing now, you don't need to worry about this, that, or the other. There's two words I think are really powerful when it also comes to doing what you're doing. It's self-belief. And rest in peace to Jamal Edwards, because he was big on the self-belief thing. And every time I used to see it, it definitely struck with me, because he was a big influence to me growing up. And because I saw him build SBTV, I literally used to watch on Twitter, there was some live videos, and you would just see him working late at night. And obviously I was young, 14, 15, just trying to figure out who does what in this game and see how they work and try and imitate it in a sense, their work ethic. And I used to see Jamal Edwards on these live things on Twitter where he'd just be working, and he'd just be literally on live editing videos or whatever, or just talking to people on this Twitter live thing. I don't know what it was, if it was off Twitter, but he linked it. Maybe Periscope, I don't know what it was called. But watching this and just seeing that this guy's up, not caring what no one thinks, I'm just working, I'm interacting with people that talk to me. And that was a big thing for me, because he went on to become so successful. So even him, give him his props and rest in peace to him, because even though before he passed, unfortunately, he might not have got as much recognition as he deserved, he definitely played a big part in the whole music industry. No one can deny that. And definitely me coming up, I watched a lot of what he did, and I really was inspired by it. So all these what ifs, what's going to happen, this and that, you can kind of let them go. And the easiest way to do it is by doing what you're meant to be doing. Stop caring about what other people think. Eventually you just stop caring. Literally it's just as simple as that. You just stop caring about what people think. When you don't let an outside perspective, come in and intrude your thoughts or your feelings towards what you want to do, it's the most powerful thing. That's when you are literally It's just you against yourself, and I think that's so important. So all of these things I think are linked to stop caring and how to stop caring what other people think of you. You know, you just gotta remember it's you in this journey. Like, you might have a team or whatever, but it's whatever your goal is, it's your goal. If you've got a partnership with you and yours goal, like, don't let outside things try and get involved, or, you know, opinions are always welcome, but don't let judgment or any of that stuff, or even a scenario that doesn't even exist. That's a big thing. I don't know, forget that. Like, a lot of these things where we worry about what people can think are based off of scenarios we make up in our heads that don't exist, and we're even making them exist by like technically manifesting them, like thinking, and we act upon them. So we might if you're doing content and you're worried about what's this person gonna think of me, you might just force yourself to be someone that you know. Whereas like right now, I know I might talk fast, or I might not be that whole hi, I'm a YouTuber, you're right, welcome to my channel. Like, it's just not me. My thing is I just want to talk directly to a camera, which at first is quite weird, but when I'm talking to the camera, I can just imagine like everyone else watching it. I can even imagine me watching myself like on YouTube. Yeah, like a big thing with setting goals or getting started on something is fear, and like fear is a bitch. We all know this, and you just gotta accept that there is a fear there, and you know, you just can't be scared of that shit, because all that stuff, all that fear is just in your head, right? And there's also this fear of what are people gonna think. I care about what people think, and sometimes you just gotta just fuck that. Like, sorry for my language, but you just gotta literally look at it like that to say to yourself, like, what's the worst that can happen here? Like, if you're doing something not just positive, but something good, something that's right for yourself, and probably for others as well, which is important, then like, how could you really go wrong? You're only gonna learn from your mistakes, and then it's all about try and error. You know, like, everything is about ups and downs, whether it's meant to be this way or that way. It's ups and downs, and like, if it goes like that, that's still ups and downs along the way. Even with this YouTube journey, I learned about this thing called a J curve, where you could just be like this, for about a year in your YouTube journey. But then when things start popping and they work, it's called a J curve, because it just blows up. And that's like that patience. It feels like a plateau for so long. But one of these videos for me, I think, will just correlate and hit people's minds, and they'll engage with it so well. And that's it. That's that stepping stone. And then after that, it might boost my confidence even more. And I know what content people want to see even more now. I'm just working around it right now. And another thing I wanted to even talk about with regards to stop caring what people think. It's like, even a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago, that's when I started like actually taking care of myself with regards to going to the gym and eating well. Eventually, I gained quite a bit of weight for myself. People didn't really realize it, because when you're around people every day, they're not gonna always be able to tell. But if I was to like show them pictures of myself back in the day to now, like, there's quite a big difference. And what made me start it is because I felt uncomfortable. I got comfortable with like being uncomfortable with myself, and I decided to join the gym. And when I like walk into the gym and you see all these people, like, you know, in good shape, and you just think to yourself, like, what are they thinking of me? And that might be your first initial thought going to the gym, or even before you get to the gym, like, I don't look like these people. And a big thing for me when I started was running. I used to run. Before I knew about like weightlifting, all that stuff, I used to just run. I thought that was the best way to lose weight. So I used to literally just run. And in the gym I used to go to, there used to be a window, but you can see yourself. And I used to just put my headphones in and just for 20 minutes every single day, run 20 minutes and look at my reflection. And it was kind of a thing of like, it's just me against this person in front of me. I'm gonna do this every day. And obviously I didn't know about nutrition, so it took me about a year and a half to really lose and shred all that weight. And then eventually I'd picked up like, all right, cool, I want to tone up, I want to look a certain way, I need to do more weights and less cardio, or not excessive. You learn as you go. It's all about progress. But the main thing that kept me focused to achieving that goal, just losing weight and getting in shape, was every time I went into the gym, I was like, I'm not leaving until I'm sweating like crazy and I feel better. And that's part of that discipline. It's like, even if I didn't want to go, because I don't want to run like for 20 minutes, who wants to do that? I did it. And then eventually when it got to like weights, and then you get so humbled. The first time I went there with one of my mates, and he'd been going, he showed me the ropes, and I was like, I can't lift this stuff. Like, it's that weird pains doing like some arm stuff and all of that. And then eventually you're just like, I was like, I prefer going by myself. And I used to go, and every time I used to go there, again, just be in that mirror, like, I'm going to look better eventually. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And then as time goes on, you might take a few photos and you're like, yeah, man, I don't give a shit what no one thinks. I'm doing my job and it's working really well. So overall, that was just, I'm into the place and parts of what I've experienced and how it helped me to stop caring about what people think. And I know it might seem like a long video, but I feel like if I share my experiences, you can have a bit of humility and maybe familiarize yourself with it. I think it's really important to not care and stop caring what people think. It's going to be hard. There's going to be days where you just can't stop it, or you're just thinking, it's natural, we're humans, but the best thing to do sometimes is leave those thoughts just next to us, accept that they're there, and just remember what journey you're on. Like, imagine you're on this long road and there's these intrusive thoughts, there's all these worries that you have, and with the subject of this video about worrying about what people think of you, like, they could just be behind you, just watching you at a lot. But as long as your direction is like focus and you can see your goal at the end of it, you might not be able to see it, but you can see it. There's something there that you're going to achieve. You just keep going in that direction, and that just means getting up every day, doing what you have to do. If you have an obstacle in your way, like recently, I've injured my back from bad form, doing a back exercise at the gym, and on Monday, well, a few days ago, I was walking to the gym and I couldn't even walk. So I called up a doctor, went in the next day, found out that I have a lower back issue with one of my discs, and I'm out for a few weeks now. And at first, I started caring actually about what people thought, because I thought, I've been going to gym for so long, I've been so active. I might not be in the ultimate prime shape or nothing like that, but I'm way better than I am, and I had a goal this year, and I've been working well with the routine, and in the second month, it's kind of just stopped. But then I said to myself, and the doctor reassured me and said, like, you lot always think that this is the end. You're going to get back to it and you have muscle memory. Just trust the process. That gave me a bit of reassurance. And then as I headed home, I just remembered to myself, I'm trying to do this YouTube thing. Maybe this is going to give me more time to push my content out, to spare more time, because I have to rest a bit more. So sitting in front of a camera is a bit easier to do in that sense, I have an extra hour or two of my day of the week that I can push content. I can think about ideas. So ultimately, I just said to myself, cool, when I'm out for maybe a month, hopefully no longer, I'm going to use this time to push myself to make even more content. So once I'm back in the gym and I'm back into being more active again, I'm just go 10 times harder. You just push it up. Like, kind of use your, not downfall, but kind of use the thing that's pushing you, that could be potentially holding you back, to motivate you. And don't, like, the reason I was worried about what people might think, because I was like, if I'm a bit so active and this and that, what happens if I fall off? What happens if I start gaining weight again, this and that? I just said to myself, you just don't let it happen. You just don't let it happen. You just push the content, use that time for gym content, and heal easier, do some stretches every day, this and that. And nobody needs to worry about what I'm doing, because I'm doing everything to better myself. And as long as I'm doing that, I'll heal faster, my content will become better, and I hope everyone just loves this video, to be fair. I hope it resonates with someone. I don't know if I've missed anything out, because I've had to record 2 parts of this video, so I kind of got lost within my little points that I had written out. But yeah, the most important thing is stop caring about what people think. By taking notes, give yourself some humility and look at yourself and be proud of yourself and think to yourself, where am I going? What do I want to do? Take some time up for that. And then everything will eventually work out, patience, time, persistence. And the most important thing that I explained before is that luck is a result of preparation and action. Yeah? It's not about what people thought. But you're going to eventually be that person that people say good things about if you do what's right. And you won't even care, because you're like, I didn't do it for you though. I did it for myself. And you can be proud of yourself. And then you can take all the compliments that come your way, but not for vanity, just because you deserve it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it out to someone that might need to see it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch out for shitload more content. Thank you for watching.